Rosehip thought, I don't want to lift a finger. In the course of life, one experiences numerous good and bad fortunes. The great fortune and terrible fortune of mine was reading, within a single title, I repeatedly found myself possessing numerous characters. Once I was the female lead, sometimes I was a supporting character. I was given a villainess who died early on, as well as an extra. At first, it was exciting. I would become the lead character in a title I liked. I just had to go through a few ordeals, then I would obtain endless happiness and love at more cost. It would be smooth sailing from there. I figured a happy ending was inevitable for me. However, I ended up loving someone who was not the main lead, and so I thought maybe the man I loved would become the male lead. But no, I had no say in it whatsoever. I could not change my story. Despite the male lead being such a good man, I failed to fall in love with him and was forced to marry him. What happened afterward, you ask? After the wedding, I rejected the male lead. I dumped all my resentment on the male lead. What kind of face did he make at the time? Can a male lead have such an expression on his face publicly? He was considered a cold-blooded duke, but to the female lead, he was a kind gentleman who could never say a single mean thing to her. Maybe that is why I was more cruel to you. The minute the male lead shouted at me for the first time, I wanted to ask him an important question, but I could not because I died. It was really the moment the happy ending concluded within the original story. How nice it would have been if things had ended that way. Instead, I ended up repeating the storyline once again and was reunited with the male lead, but this time, I was the most atrocious villainess in the empire. I am sick and tired of this. No matter what I did, people condemned me as a villainess. There is no way I can free myself from this designated role. Afterward, I returned to the beginning of the story and kept reliving the story as various characters. However, I never saw him again. A strange rumor that the Duke was searching for someone before getting married did momentarily go around, but apart from that, the original novel continued to unfold as intended. The minute the story reached its end, I returned to the beginning. I felt lethargic. The cycle repeated endlessly. The only thing that did not change was that I could not escape from this world. This time, I got a background role as a noble lady. Luckily, it is an affluent family. I am Rosehip Stannon, the second daughter of Duke Stannon. I was an imperial knight, an imperial maid, and even a beggar. Now I live in a grand manor with a very powerful father, as well as knights that protect me from harm. Everything is perfect. Lou, come speak. Your cake will get dry. What are you thinking about anyway? Rosehip thought. Lou was my brother, who exactly looked like me. She replied about jumping under the covers as soon as possible. Lou said, no, you are in bed all day. You will become one with the bed. Rosehip replied, I would love that. I came to eat with you as you wished for. Lou commented, but it is the first time in 3 days. Let's go and see His Grace tomorrow. He might be waiting for you. Rosehip asked, you mean father, not His Grace? Why can't you call him father when you are the heir? She thought, look at him, so timid. What am I going to do with him? And he will be inheriting House Stannon in the future. Should I be worried about our household? Suddenly, Barbara came and shouted, there you are. Rosehip thought Barbara was Duke Stannon's courtesan, self-proclaimed stepmother, Duke Stannon's concubine, and the woman who plays the role of Duchess. She also strives to make her son, whom she had with the Duke, the heir of the household. Barbara continued, I thought I ordered not to give her any food for 3 days. Did you steal it like a rat? Why, you little thief. Look at your hideous appearance. I can't bear to look at you. Even a filthy pig looks better than you. Lou told her, Mother, I allowed her. Barbara shouted, be quiet. Rosehip, do you dare to ignore my words? Look at the horrid way she looks at me. You say I don't listen, do you? Just like your mother. The next moment, she threw a fork at her. Barbara asked, what did you just? Rosehip stated, oh dear, my hand slipped. I am sorry, should I try again? Barbara shouted, that is enough. Rosehip continued, that is why I said we should stay out of each other's hair, did I not, stepmother? She thought that at that moment, Barbara hated me more than she hated Lou. It is probably because she could not control me. Barbara told her, you just wait and see. This haughty attitude of yours won't last much longer. Rosehip thought, there has never been anybody who said, wait and see, who was worth fearing. Lou asked, where are you going? Rosehip replied, to my blanket. She thought, in this role within the original novel, there is nothing for me to do. I don't need to farm. I don't need to create poison like I did when I was a villainess. I don't want to do anything. Rosehip thought, when I was a commoner, I worked hard as a farmer. When I was a villainess, I was busy plotting evil schemes. When I was a knight, I focused on wiping out monsters. When I was a fashion designer, I racked my brain to come up with the latest trends while dealing with the high-handedness of my seniors. Does it mean I was originally a diligent kid? I was a jobless loafer in my original world. Since I transmigrated into the book, I always focused on something. I was like an actress focusing on my role. So what does the daughter of a duke do? Surprisingly, nothing. I am sure I would have had tasks if I were a normal duke's daughter. Normally, my mother would have had to handle the domestic affairs of the house, but her frailness and gentle character were used as excuses. For Barbara and the head butler, she was won over to take full control. Barbara even pushed back my high society debut. I have finished it already. I am full, so it's time to take a nap. Let me say once again, Barbara probably thinks she succeeded in ruining my future prospects, but thanks to her, my life is a rose garden. I don't need to do anything. I like this chair, it is so cushiony. I just need a blanket, and it is perfect. I think I should go to my bed, where I have my soft blanket. What kind of dream should I have today? Lou came and asked, "Are you going to stay there?" Rosehip replied, "Yes." Lou asked, "But why?" Rosehip continued, "Don't you know? Because it is a dangerous world out there. For a delicate girl like me, it is too scary." Lou commented, "Liar, you don't really believe that." Rosehip said, "Well, bye." Lou asked, "Listen." Rosehip replied, "What? Tell me, what do you want?" Lou asked, "Why are these books piled up here? Are you reading them?" Rosehip replied, "They need to be in arm's reach." Lou continued, "Those leftover pastries. You are going to finish them. What about this water? How long has it been sitting here?" Rosehip told him, "It needs to be in arm's reach." Lou spoke, "Please tell me you wash your face." Rosehip emphasized, "What do you take me for? I do it once every other day." Lou stated, "You can't continue like this." Rosehip replied, "I can. Try it, it is quite comfortable." I was about to pick it up, she thought. Due to the nature of romantic fantasy novels, it is extremely rare for rich nobles to do any cleaning. But because Barbara controls the maids frequenting the annex, we have both no choice but to occasionally clean up after ourselves. As a result, I understand Lou acting this way, but cleaning is no big deal. She said, "It is my." Lou stated, "No, actually, I really." Rosehip asked, "What? Why did you put the blanket on me?" Lou spoke, "I am sorry for being such a pathetic older brother." Rosehip thought, "I know you are doing this because there is a reason why you can't speak up for me. The more he takes my side, the more vicious Barbara is to me. I guess I am still a small and young baby sister to him. When I was little and my powers were incomplete, I tolerated it, but now, I can turn things around if I really want." She said, "You are not pathetic. Never have I once thought you were pathetic." She thought, 12 years ago, I told myself I would make sure Lou's wish was granted because he is the person who saved my life. On the other hand, the aide spoke, "Your Grace, you must choose a bride now, if not, the imperial family will." The Duke replied, "I am not interested, don't ever consider bringing up the topic of my bride again." The aide continued, "I still think you should take a look. I have rounded up some respectable ladies, please, will you?" The Duke stated, "Get rid of them now, whoever it is, I know I will loathe them." 12 years ago, Rosehip thought, "Honestly, it is not like I acknowledged Lou as my brother from the start. I couldn't be bothered. To be more specific, I guess I should say I did not consider this role as my life. I was fed up with all my lives. When I was a heroine or a villainess, I had a purpose in life. Normally, one would give in or feel dejected if one repeated life 11 times, but strangely, I was devoted to all my different lives. But what on earth does a duke's daughter have to do? Maybe that is why I had trouble adapting to this role. A life with even less purpose than a farmer's daughter. I endured all that time by being faithful to each of my lives, so a character without any work to do made me feel lost. Duchess, my mother, was like a bouquet of lilies, with wrists so thin that they looked like they would break. She was an extremely fragile woman, a kind-hearted person that made even someone like me smile. Lou spoke, "Mother." Rosehip looked at you and smiled. Rosehip replied, "No, I did not." The Duchess commented, "I see." She smiled. "She is a beautiful child, just like you. You will protect your little sister, won't you?" Rosehip thought that even from the minute I was born, she was pushed around by the wicked acts of Barbara, father's mistress. I clearly remember hearing that the Duchess and the Duke had loved each other, so why did father just stand by and disregard Barbara's behavior? Every time I looked at my mother, I saw a pitiful woman. Nevertheless, she was a gracious, beautiful person, so I thought that maybe my purpose in this life was to protect her. However, unfortunately, within less than a year, misfortune found my mother. She had fallen ill from poisoning. It was obvious who was behind it. It would have been nice if I could have protected her. The problem was that I was in a state where I could not use any of my powers. I could not prevent the continuous poisoning either. Why couldn't I use my power? While the Duke had left for the outskirts of the capital, her frail body slowly faded away. If only I could use my power to neutralize the poison, then I could save my mother. For the first time, I could not use my power from my former lives. What could my 9-year-old brother have done? There was a magic artifact in the Duke's home, cast with divine magic. It could lift any curse or neutralize any poison exactly once. So Lu had to make a choice. Only one person could be saved. I will never know for the rest of my life just what Lu felt like at that moment. After that, Lu asked, "Are you up? I am so happy you are healthy now. Mother passed away." Rosehip thought that when I woke up from a deep sleep, my power had returned, but the funeral was already over. Lu chose me instead of our mother. The next day, Rosehip thought, "What is going on?" Maids were chatting. "I am telling you, I heard it myself. Who would choose a duchess through a competition?" Rosehip thought, "Has it started already?" Noble captain of the Paladin's Order, head of the Empire's most prestigious Duke household, male lead Ashton Hibiscus. The original story starts out with the male lead, Duke Ashton, suddenly holding a competition to find his partner. Due to a certain incident, he had no choice but to find a partner. In the process of holding the competition, he met the female lead. The story continued on and finished with a happy ending. It has nothing to do with me anyway. I have never met the male lead after I was a villainess, and that probably would not change this time. After some time, Rosehip caught a stone. She thought, "Who can do this?" Rockin, Barbara's son, was watching her. Rockin thought, "What? Why is she not upset?" Then he said, "Why, you psychopath." Rosehip thought, "What do I do with such an immature brat? I can't be bothered." Rockin thought, "She is really nice to that loser. Lu, I am her brother too." Then he shouted, "You are cocky. My mother will soon become a duchess. She said she is also going to a party with my father." Rosehip asked, "Are you trying to tell me father belongs to you and your mother?" Rockin replied, "That's right. She said I would be the rightful son, the successor." He thought, "How do you like that?" Rosehip told him, "Sure, you can have all of it." She thought, was he not raised properly? He is always so audacious. The next moment, a maid shouted, "My lady." Rosehip thought, so bothersome. Rockin told her, "You will be kicked out of this house anyway. I heard your mother died because she was weak. Father said he was glad she died. He said she was useless." Rosehip stated, "I am impressed, kiddo. Why, it is okay for you to throw insults, but not for someone else to do so. I know weasels like you." Rockin replied, "It is okay, because I am noble." Rosehip thought, noble, is that what they call kids like him? But he is the son of a courtesan. Barbara always used him to spread fake rumors. It did not sound like he was just spewing words nonsensically. It was vaguely off for it to just be a rumor Barbara told him to spread. Rockin continued, "He said he would kick both you and Lu out, so you better be in my good books if you want to stick around." Rosehip told him, "I know you are young, but you really should watch what you say. I do not hit children. However, there are many ways to make someone's life a living hell." Rockin started, "I am going to tell mother." Rosehip thought, like she can do anything about it. What happened to my neck? I wanted to live in peace. Maybe I will just try this. After that, Rosehip spoke, "I want to become head of the house." Lu asked, "What, you?" Rosehip replied, "Yes, me. What is that rude look on your face?" Lu explained, "Of course, you are lazy, you do nothing, and you did not receive a proper education. How do you plan on joining the order when you can't even wield a sword?" Rosehip asked, "So what, you don't want me to?" Lu commented, "Not at all. It is the first time you are showing any motivation. I am fine with anything, so let's give it a try. I will help you." Rosehip thought, "All right, fine. Should I start with an announcement?" A few days later, the aide spoke, "I think we took the wrong path. I told you, Your Grace, you should go after him next time." The Duke replied, "Be quiet, that house over there, which family is it?" The aide told him, "Perfect, it is Duke Stannin's house. Why don't you take shelter there for a moment?" The Duke spoke, "It would be rude." The aide continued, "It is no problem. the Duke's son and I used to be classmates. I am sure Lord Lu will help us. 30 minutes ago, Lu asked, "What, you are going to Mother's grave now?" Rosehip replied, "Yes, it is her death anniversary soon. I should visit ahead of time, since it will be chaotic on the actual date, as it always is." She thought Barbara, who had taken over the house, always hosted a party or called a clown on Mother's death anniversary. She made sure no one could commemorate her death. She also worked her magic on the Duke, my father, and made sure neither Lu nor I visited Mother's grave. How immature. Does she believe doing that will forever get rid of Mother's existence? Lu asked, "Can't you go another day? It is pouring outside." Rosehip replied, "No, I can't. I actually like that it is raining. Barbara hates the rain." Lu told her, "Then let me come with you." Rosehip explained, "That is not a good idea. If we both go, we will attract attention. You know Barbara is sensitive to what you do. Even if she pretends otherwise, we will get caught right away. Not that it is a big issue for me, but it is a pain if father gets involved." She thought, "I want Mother's death anniversary to be a quiet day." Lu replied, "I guess I have no choice. Dress warm and be careful." After that, the Duke thought, "Is that person going out in this weather impressive?" Lu spoke, "Welcome, Duke Hibiscus. I am Lu Stannon." The Duke replied, "Thank you for the welcome. I am sorry this is our first encounter." Lu continued, "Not at all. Good to see you, Gardener. It has been ages." The aide replied, "Good to see you too." Lu told them, "Please come in. I will show you to your room." The Duke thought, "I often heard Duke Stannon's eldest son was handsome, but the rumors don't do him justice. Come to think of it, I believe Lu had a younger sister. I don't remember hearing any rumors about what she does. Actually, there are no rumors about either of them, almost strangely so." The Duke spoke, "I won't forget your kindness." Lu replied, "No, it is common to help each other when in need." Barbara came and said, "We have special guests, nice to meet you." Then she introduced herself. She asked, "What is wrong with you, Lu? You should have informed me about His Grace's visit." Lu replied, "Well, I found out just now." The Duke stated, "I made a sudden visit, forgive me for the discourtesy." He thought, "I never heard the Stannon household had a new duchess, but I did hear about a courtesan who snatched the first wife's position." Barbara asked, "Your Grace, would you like to join us at the banquet? I have told the servants to prepare a seat for you." Lu tried to say, "Mother, His Grace needs to rest, he got drenched." Barbara stated, "I did not ask you. Stop acting cocky. Your job ends here. Go to your room this minute." The Duke thought, "Did a courtesan just order around a duke's successor? This is ridiculous. What is happening in this household?" Lu replied, "I understand you are upset. Baya apologizes, but His Grace said he is tired. So how about you have lunch with him tomorrow? His Grace is currently a bit uncomfortable." Barbara commented, "I guess you are right. You handle the matter. Just make sure you don't upset His Grace. What is Rose doing? She should be out here." Lu spoke, "Forgive me for the commotion, Your Grace. Allow me to apologize if you felt uncomfortable." The Duke replied, "Don't worry about it, I am fine." After some time, the aide spoke, "This definitely is a Duke's residence. The bathroom is amazing." The Duke told him, "State your business." The aide asked, "You know what I am going to say. Will you attend tomorrow's lunch?" The Duke replied, "No, it is Lu I am indebted to, not that woman who suddenly showed up." The aide emphasized, "She did not have an ounce of courtesy in her. How dare she insist you attend the banquet without asking you in advance? She even left us without a word." The Duke asked, "Was she always like this?" The aide replied, "Well, sort of. I mean, Lord Lu is quite gentle. Things were similar when we were at the academy. There is a reason why he is under a mere mistress's thumb. It seems she tenaciously harasses Lu's one and only younger sister if he does not listen to her. It is normally the noblewoman's sole right to decide how the daughter is treated. I am sure Lu has no choice but to be obedient." The Duke asked, "Is that what is normally considered obedient?" The aide replied, "Lord Lu would never do that. His nickname used to be the Angel of the Academy. He never got mad, even when someone was rude, not once." The Duke commented, "Are not people like that normally called pushovers?" He thought, if Lu is not a pushover, that can only mean he is pretending to be one, who knows. Then, late at night, the Duke thought, is someone there? There are two people, what is going on? Well, I guess I will find out when I go down. Rosehip thought, I am screwed. The Duke asked, who are you? Rosehip replied, "Well, who are you?" The Duke thought maybe she was not an intruder. To be an intruder, she was too. Rosehip continued, "Hold on a second. I need to send these two to Lu. He is my brother." The Duke said, "So you are a Stannin, Duke Stannon's daughter. What are you doing out there late at night?" Rosehip replied, "Why am I being questioned by a stranger about why I am taking a walk at night?" The Duke continued, "Your attire is suspicious. Who knows, you could be an intruder who is pretending to be Duke Stannon's daughter." Rosehip spoke, "You are saying it does not look like I am taking a walk because of how I am dressed. Then go wake up Lu and bring him here." "Get my brother," the Duke stated. "That is quite a rude order." Rosehip told him, "Why should I be polite when you are not? Why am I being questioned by some stranger? Leave the assassins there. The knights will soon come and take them away." After that, Rosehip thought, "I was nervous as hell. Who knew he would suddenly show up like that? It is okay. I won't be seeing him again." The next day, Lu spoke, "Your Grace, this is Rosehip Stannon, my little sister." Rosehip thought, "I am seeing him again. I was really against it." Then she said, "Nice to meet you, Your Grace. It is an honor to meet Your Grace. I am aware how respected you are by the people as Chief of the Paladin's Order." The Duke replied, "A pleasure." As for yesterday, suddenly, Lu asked, "What is wrong? Are you okay?" Rosehip replied, "I am really sorry. Do you mind if I excuse myself first? I will leave the rest to you. My apologies, Your Grace, if it is okay. May I excuse myself first? I don't feel well." The Duke replied, "You may." Rosehip told him, "Thank you for your understanding, and next time, I will greet you officially as the daughter of the Stannon family." The Duke thought, "Is she being sarcastic because I doubted her yesterday? I see my suspicion was uncalled for, but for some reason, I feel like she is intentionally avoiding me. Could I be mistaken?" After that, the Duke asked, "What is going on at House Stannon?" The aide thought, "He is showing interest in another family. That is surprising." He replied, "It is slightly complicated. As you saw, the courtesan took the Duchess's place after she passed. She and Duke Stannon had a son. By principle, Lord Lu should become the successor, but it seems he has not earned that spot yet." The Duke commented, "She certainly did not behave like a normal courtesan." The aide continued, "Exactly. Her arrogance obviously stems from the fact that Duke Stannon is neglecting his household." The Duke asked, "What is your opinion on Rosehip?" The aide replied, "Well, we only saw her fleetingly, so I am not sure. The only thing I heard about her was that she was frail since our days in the academy." The Duke asked, "Frail? Sure." The aide thought, he is just asking about Lady Rosehip. What is going on? The Duke stated, "I must repay them for their kindness. Dig up some more information about House Stannon and get back to me, and find out about Lady Rosehip in detail. Her moves were unusual for a lady." The aide thought, could this be the start of something? After some time, the aide told them, "Everyone, I know you are busy putting together a list of candidates for the Duchess competition, but I have good news. His Grace has finally shown interest in a certain lady. Let's see. Here it is. The lady. Discreetly make her one of the prime candidates." The aide thought, he wants me to find out about a woman for the first time. It clearly means he is interested. Of course he is. What else could it be other than romantic interest? A few days later, Rosehip thought, there is something strange in the air. I am sure it is none of my business. After that, Rosehip asked, "You want to leave me?" The Duke replied, "Yes." Rosehip thought, the woman is up to no good again. She probably badmouthed me. Leaving the house is not hard. Then she said, "I am not sure why you are suddenly telling me this, but if I leave alone?" The Duke stated, "Not alone. Lu will go with you." Rosehip thought, if Barbara had said this, I would have just considered it her usual drivel, but this was father's directive. I miscalculated. The reason I wanted to become the head of the family was so I could pave the way before handing the household to Lu. If he became the successor without my having to step in, I would have had no issues with being kicked out. Rosehip replied, "Lu is your first son and your legal wife's son. He is also your successor. You are going to kick him out without a just reason." The Duke said, "I never declared him my successor." Rosehip told him, "Yes, I know, but that is what everyone thinks. Otherwise, there would be no reason for Lu to have such an excessive amount of work. I believe he also handles a lot of external affairs." She thought the one fortunate thing was that House Stannon's vassals despised Barbara. They would undoubtedly be opposed to Barbara's son, to them. He taints the lineage. they have incredible pride in working for a family with a long heritage and history. She continued, Lu had a hard time handling them. The Duke continued, my order stands unchanged, pack your things in. Rosehip replied, Father, there is what is called the Declaration of Legitimate Rights in the family rules. She thought when it comes to the matter of succession, a duke's descendant can request a chance to prove their capabilities exactly once, and if all the vassals acknowledge them, they can become the successor even without the duke's permission. A long time ago, a duke once tried to make his foster son his successor. That was when the previous duke and the vassals created this rule. It was in preparation for situations like now. It was so the legal wife's child would not be helplessly kicked out by the child of a mistress. Rosehip told him, I declare my rights as your legitimate child and request the test here on this spot. I will become your successor even if I don't have your permission. Barbara shouted, What nonsense is this? A woman, the successor of a duke? Your Grace agrees with me, don't you? The Duke remembered when his wife said, My dear, I think our Rose is a bit special. She really defeated an adult. I think she is trying to keep it a secret. The Duke asked, Do you really want to declare that right? What capabilities do you think are required to become a successor? Rosehip thought, what kind of question is this? What is he scheming? When he was young, father was famous for being competent, but as he grew older, he became a duke who was far from wise. Instead of mediating the conflict between his vassals and mistress, he lost the respect of his vassals. That was proof enough that he was no longer a smart man, so there was no reason to ask me this question. Rosehip replied, What is required of a successor is competence, plus the ability to listen to others and assess what they say. One more thing, the level of respect for the current duke is also important. She thought, Do you like what you hear? The Duke asked, Who knew you were capable of saying such things? Rosehip told him, Well, I have always respected you, father. After that, Barbara asked, Your Grace, what must we do? A declaration of her rights. How dare she? The Duke stated, That is enough, I have an idea. Next scene. Rosehip thought, The stable should be okay. I doubt Barbara will come here. What is with the commotion? That is Ashton's aide. What is he doing here? Rosehip asked, What are you doing here? The aide replied, I came to meet Lord Lu. Rosehip asked, Dressed like that, it is servant's uniform. The aide replied, Yes, you must have been surprised. I often dress like this when visiting my academy friends. By the way, I have to ask you something. What do you think is a positive trait of the Duke? Rosehip thought, Why is he asking me that? The aide continued, Don't take it too seriously. I want to know what kind of impression His Grace leaves from a lady's perspective. Rosehip told him, I am not part of high society, so I won't be of much help. The aide commented, It does not matter. Rosehip thought, I have always wondered why Ashton chose such a goofy aide. He was like this in my first life in this book as well. She replied, Duke Hibiscus's strong point is being noble and pure-hearted. The aide asked, Are we talking about His Grace? Rosehip spoke, Well, I am not too fond of such traits. She thought the noble and pure-hearted side he showed only to the female lead was almost completely innocent. A few days later, Rosehip thought, I officially declared my legitimate rights to the vassals. I did find it strange that Barbara and father did not put a stop to it, but it was because they had their own scheme planned out. Rosehip asked, What did you just say? I need to participate in the competition. The servant replied, Yes, it is His Grace's order. Your ladyship must join the Duke's bride competition. After that, Rosehip asked, Where is father? Barbara replied, His Grace is away. If you need anything, just tell me. Rosehip spoke, I am not sure I need anything from a mere courtesan, but fine, since father is away. Please pass on the message. Tell him I have no intention of joining the competition. I doubt Duke Ashton will accept me as a candidate. She thought the Stannon family was a pro-imperial household disliked by the Hibiscus family. It was more likely he loathed the power-hungry Duke Stannon. After all this time, possessing so many different bodies, I am hearing that Ashton picks his duchess through a competition. However, I have never heard of a duke's daughter like myself participating. I was an extra who has never appeared on any page. Most likely, they would be carrying out an initial review of the candidates at this point. Even if my profile was in the monthly candidate documents, I would clearly not make the cut. After putting up with the imperial family since a young age, the male lead wanted a wife from a humble family, like Nelia. The female lead, she was from a fallen noble family. Is that what made him so kind to her? That was a memory I did not particularly want to recall. She said, "Anyway, thank you for the unnecessary help, good day." Barbara told her, "His Grace entrusted me with all the rights to the manor before he left. Don't you understand what entrust means?" Rosehip replied, "All right, one is always free to dream, but don't forget that those are those who vanish without a trace because their head is in the clouds." Barbara asked, "Is that so? But I have some bad news. It seems you want to forfeit your candidacy, but House Hibiscus has already accepted it. You passed the initial screening, so you have no choice but to join the competition, and by the time you leave this manor, I will have become a duchess." After that, Rosehip thought, "So the Duke ran off. I can't believe he is my father. It does not matter. I can sort it out myself." Lou asked, "What is wrong? What is it?" Rosehip replied, "You heard the news, didn't you? I am sure you did." Lou replied, "The competition, I did just now." Rosehip thought there was no way they would not have told Lou. This was a warning, to tell him that he would be kicked out soon too. Lou thought, "No matter how I think about it, this is Father's strategy to kick Rose out. Father has turned a blind eye to her being abused since we were young, so it is not surprising something like this has happened. I did not know it would be this soon, but if she becomes a duchess, she can leave this house." He replied, "I hope it works out." He thought she needed to leave this place to be happy. Plus, while Duke Ashton is known to be cold-blooded, he is protective of his own people. Rosehip thought, "If I leave, it is evident what will happen to Lou." She said, "I will go tell him face to face that I have no interest in participating." On the other hand, the aide spoke, "Your Grace, you will soon have a finished list of candidates." The Duke replied, "You are still wasting time on that useless task." The aide thought this was bad. Awakened with an enormous amount of holy power since a young age, the Duke was everyone's object of desire. The imperial family was the most keen to get their hands on him. They even tried to force him to marry one of their relatives. If he accepted, he would be a slave forever, supplying his holy power for the rest of his life. So the only way to break free was to find a wife unconnected to the imperial family. He said, "You are out of time, Your Grace. If you delay it any longer, the imperial family will force you to proceed with a marriage of their own." After some time, the Duke told her, "It is bad manners, but since I am indebted to your family because of last time, I will let this incident quietly pass." Rosehip replied, "Thank you." She thought, "I never wanted to see him again, but I have no choice." She asked, "By any chance, are you interested in marrying me?" Duke replied, "I am not sure why you have suddenly shown up to talk nonsense. I loathe the institution called marriage." Rosehip said, "Perfect. I don't intend to get married, but how contradictory, Your Grace. You say you loathe marriage, but it is my understanding that you are still putting together a list of candidates from which you will pick a bride." The Duke thought, was she always like that? Then he asked, "And what does that have to do with you?" Rosehip explained, "My father told me a proposition was made, and I was made one of the final candidates. That is, with no regard to what I want." The aide spoke, I thought you were interested in the lady. You told me to find out information about her ladyship." Rosehip asked, "Did you fall in love with me at first sight?" The Duke replied, "No, I did not. Did you come to play jokes?" Rosehip emphasized, "Of course not. Well then, please remove my name, since it was understood. As for the competition, if I may dare say, please make sure to respect people's personal opinions. You don't want a bride like me who got dragged here against her will, do you?" The Duke commented, "That happened without my approval." Rosehip told him, "Liar. A part of you was planning to go ahead with it. I once heard from my brother that Your Grace is meticulous with everything, and you are someone who sets his foot down. If you really did not want to hold the competition, I figure you would have stopped it already. Well, I will expect my name to be removed. Good day, and thank you for allowing me and listening." The Duke spoke, "Wait, it is my understanding that things are not so good at House Stannon. If I actually went ahead with the competition, it could be an opportunity for you, am I correct?" He thought, "This feels strange. Why do I want to stop her from leaving?" Rosehip stated, "Your Grace said you loathed the institution of marriage. I feel that way too. Love, marriage, romance. I loathe them all. I hope that answers your question. Well, I really must go now." After that, Rosehip thought, "Good, the competition issue is sorted. I won't be competing. Now, I just need to take the test for the Declaration of Legitimate Rights. If I pass the successor test, I will become a duke. It is not hard to be acknowledged by everyone. I can use the knowledge obtained from my past lives." But the fact that my name was submitted to the competition was father's attempt to buy time. I will need to hurry with the test before he does anything else. I wanted to do nothing and live comfortably just this once. On the other hand, the Duke asked, how close were you and Lu? The aide replied, you mean during our academy days, we were extremely close, you could say we were best friends. The Duke asked, by any chance, was I ever a topic of conversation between you two? The aide replied, sometimes, yes, but I don't think it was ever much in detail. A servant's voice came, Your Grace, a letter has arrived from the imperial family. A few days later, Rosehip thought, I am busy preparing for the test. The letter requests that I must visit the Hibiscus Manor a week later to participate in the competition. Why, Ashton, that damn bastard, how dare he freaking trick me? Then she said, I doubt they will keep a woman who threatens a duke in the competition. Lu told her, instead, you will be sent to the imperial prison, please calm down. Rosehip asked, what do you think about this situation? Lu replied, His Grace is an exceptional bridegroom. Rosehip commented, does an exceptional bridegroom ignore the opinion of a bride candidate? I prefer a man like you. Lu asked, you mean like a pushover? Rosehip said, why do you know yourself so well only at times like this? Besides, if he had already fallen for me, he would have asked to get engaged right away instead of inviting me as a mere candidate. Lu told her, you are right, sorry for saying that, I don't want to send my little sister to a place that does not value her. The aide came and spoke, greetings, my lord, my lady. Lu told him, get out. The aide replied, wait, I mean, Your Grace, I can explain. Lu told him, I am not interested, leave immediately, must I tell you to get the hell out? Rosehip thought Lu is clearly a naive, good-hearted person, but that does not mean he is always weak. If he were, he would not have survived until now. He is a person of great patience and noble beliefs. He is level-headed but also stubborn, just like the day he saved me instead of mother. He is so charming that everyone has no choice but to like him. Did the aide say he is Lu's friend? Then there is no way he would not know this side of Lu, where he sets his foot down when he is completely against something. Lu thought, I am screwed. Even the word angel is not enough to describe how sweet he is, but I forgot that he can be incredibly stern once he makes up his mind. Lu asked, you are still here? The aide replied, please, just once, listen to what I have to say, for old time's sake, forgive me, my lord, my lady, but please hear me out just once. Rosehip spoke, let's hear it out, I will listen. After that, the aide shouted, I am so sorry, my lord, my lady, it is all my fault. This is all because I misunderstood His Grace and put your ladyship on the list of candidates. When we arrived at House Stannon to avoid the rain, His Grace was curious about you. I have never seen him do that before, so I thought he was interested in you. I put your name down as one of the candidates, and when your family sent word of acceptance, I approved the paperwork because I thought there would not be any problems. I did not think that your ladyship might turn His Grace down. Rosehip told him clearly, no lady would have reason to refuse marrying him. The aide continued, I apologize once again for my complacency and rudeness, but can you please help me out just this once? I am well aware that it is bold of me to ask. The truth is, a letter arrived a few days ago from the imperial family. It was an edict ordering His Grace to marry a lady designated by the imperial family. We barely managed to keep the competition running, but we could not stop the young ladies. Naturally, they are all ladies who have everything, status, sophistication, looks. It is inevitable that this will place pressure on His Grace. That is why we need someone to prevent the other ladies from sweeping the competition. Rosehip stated, and that was me, you can leave now. She thought, I already knew all about this anyway. The aide continued, but please consider this, for a long time, the Hibiscus family has been stopping the imperial family from asserting their authority. Of course, House Stannon is a noble family that supports the imperial family. However, if House Hibiscus falls into the hands of the imperial family, Duke Stannon's power will grow. That is disadvantageous to your lordship as well. With His Grace not acknowledging your lordship as his successor, it will undoubtedly be a hindrance to obtaining the duke title. Rosehip told him, I appreciate the concern, but that is none of your business. Is Duke Hibiscus a man who does not keep his word? He clearly promised to remove me from the competition, so I hope he keeps that promise. The aide replied, I apologize once again. After that, at night, Rosehip thought, it is a pain to be a successor, there is so much to review. House Stannon definitely stood by the imperial family for generations. I am aware that I can be an important form of leverage for them, but there is no need for me to help them out. What was that? Is he out of his mind? By the look on his face, I don't think he will leave easily. After some time, Rosehip asked, "What do you think you are doing? Is it good manners for your grace to suddenly show up in the middle of the night? I thought my intentions were conveyed thoroughly enough through your grace's aid." The Duke replied, "I am aware." Rosehip commented, "How polite for an intruder." The Duke continued, "Of course, I must be polite. I am the one who is in need of help." Rosehip told him, "My mind won't change no matter what you say. Besides, a noble gentleman like you climbing over a wall. It really is staggering." The Duke said, "I can't believe it either. I climbed a wall. You are the first person to make me do this." Rosehip thought, was his personality always like this? Rosehip continued to think, why does he feel like a different person? The Duke asked, "So, may I speak with you for a second?" Rosehip replied, "No, I decline. As I said, my last act of consideration is not calling my father and the knights." She thought, "Regardless, I have no intention whatsoever of getting mixed up with you." The Duke thought, this feels strange. She is putting her foot down, refusing even mere conversation. What could be the reason? After some research, I discovered that the lady spent her entire life inside her house. She had never gone outside, let alone had a debutante ball. She was a young lady of mystery, but recently she stepped out of her house for the first time. Incidentally, it was exactly at the time when the family guild, which was operated by Lu, went into a crisis. What seemed like a never-ending conflict between the guilds and its sub-guilds, as well as matters regarding future finances, were perfectly settled. People said it was Lu's abilities that made it happen, but I wonder if that is true. I have a feeling that the real whiz was her. Looking back at the past, her comeback abilities were also exceptional. If I am correct, she is most likely the one suited to be the successor. But why did she suddenly show herself after thoroughly hiding behind the curtain all this time? Is it because Lu's position has become compromised? If so, she and her brother had a good relationship. Unlike most noble families, she possesses exceptional intelligence and talent, enough to trick everyone. But why won't she even consider my proposal? Is it really because of my facial expression? Is that good now? Was that the wrong move? How strange. The first time we met was on a rainy day, but she speaks as if she is sure about who I am. Then he asked, "Is my proposal really that bad?" Rosehip replied, "I am sorry, but I thought we had already come to an agreement on that matter." The Duke continued, "I simply want to say that we could both benefit from this. I loathe marriage, and you despise all types of love. Don't you think we would be good partners?" Rosehip told him, "If I refuse right now, I believe your competition is starting soon." The Duke replied, "Don't worry, I will come discreetly. I won't cause any trouble officially. Actually, I am aware that the atmosphere in Duke Stannon's household is abnormal. By any chance, do you know Duke Stannon recently attempted to poison your brother? Fortunately, he did not succeed." Rosehip asked, "It was the Duke, not Barbara." The Duke explained, "Based on my investigation, yes, I see, you had no idea whatsoever. Now that he has started, I am sure he will become more crafty and tenacious. No matter what Duke Stannon pulls, I know I will be able to help you. Of course, I am well aware that you are sufficiently capable yourself. Nevertheless, it is difficult to be perfect in all ways. I shall provide my holy power." Rosehip thought, he has a unique ability to wield holy power. It is God's power to heal any kind of wound. The Duke continued, "No matter what kind of crisis there is, I can protect not only you but also Lu." Rosehip asked, "What exactly do you want from me?" The Duke replied, "I want someone who will be on my side. Please join me. I would like you to attract people's attention and buy time. Then we will get engaged. Of course, we will sign an addendum that allows us to break up whenever we want." Rosehip asked, "Have you looked into all the ladies participating in the competition? There may be someone among them who better suits what you are looking for." The Duke commented, "No, I realize this time that there won't be anyone more suitable than you." Rosehip told him, "If the other families find out that the competition was fake, they won't just stand back and watch." The Duke explained, "Those who follow me already know the meaning of the competition. As for my enemies, I am not amateur enough to offer them any prey. As long as you keep my secret, of course. We both have something to protect, so it is perfect. Furthermore, I would appreciate it if you would enter into a contractual marriage with me." Rosehip replied, "No, thank you." She thought, "I don't want to, you bastard." This conversation sounds familiar, even in my first round through this story. The male character must have made a similar proposition to someone. That is how, in the original novel, in order to end the competition, Ashton joined hands with a certain woman, just like he did to me now. He suggested a contractual marriage to her, but that all went up in smoke after the competition started, and he met the female lead in the original novel there. He fell in love with her at first sight. It won't be important who he signs a deal with. I know better than anyone else that it won't change the ending now. Rosehip asked, "Why don't you decide the contract period?" She thought, "I feel strange. Why am I excited when all I did was agree to a contract? It is an unfamiliar feeling." The Duke asked, "My lady, there is something I have been wanting to ask. By any chance, have we met somewhere before?" A few days later, Rosehip thought, "Forget the competition, I want to go home. How did I end up in this mess?" Lou came and said, "Look over there are snacks. Should I bring you some cookies?" Rosehip thought, "Why did Lou follow me here? Murder, he looks like that." Rosehip continued to think, "Well, my first job is to make a hell of an impression. If it were me a year ago, I would have laughed it off as nonsense. I need to take my damn father down no matter what." Then she remembered when the Duke asked, "Have we met somewhere before?" Rosehip replied, "No, surely not. If I had seen a face like yours, Your Grace, I am certain I would have remembered." The Duke asked, "Are you saying I am good looking?" Rosehip replied, "Don't you look in the mirror?" "Well, the contract has been agreed upon, so I will head back inside. I trust you will send me the contract discreetly so that no one can find out." The Duke thought, "What is going on? It is not like she said anything special." Now, back in the present time, Lou whispered, "What will you do now?" Rosehip replied, "I will just stay here and kill time. You are getting in the way, so go over there and eat something." Lou replied, "But I am your personal servant now." Rosehip asked, "But what kind of lady goes around with a male servant?" Lou commented, "That lady over there." Rosehip thought, "Wait, this is not the main competition. What is the villainess doing here at the preliminary gathering? No, it is not her. Come to think of it, I was living the life of a villainess. It was a life where I got stabbed in the back, and I would return the favor. Every day was a continuation of plots and schemes. Yes, a plot is going to take place here too. This place is divided by an invisible line. Ladies of low rank who are closer to commoners, and the rest, who are confident and high in status. Most of the ones showing off are probably connected to the imperial family. There is no reason for anybody on the male side to step forward. As for that side, I can see straight through them. They exude a vibe that says they won't hesitate to create havoc should they not get what they want. Being on the imperial family's side, nothing would be better than being chosen, but ruining the competition itself would also be in their favor. If that led to the competition being cancelled, they would throw a party. If the male lead ignored the wishes of the imperial family and freely married a woman of his liking, his wife would end up being murdered by the imperial family. That is why the competition was born. By defeating the outstanding competitors, the lady would prove her competency. At the same time, the temple would be asked to notarize the result. So it begins now. A noble lady spoke. "How preposterous, my lady. Come to think of it, did you not steal from me previously when I invited you over? You are not only a thief but also have no class." The lady replied, "I did not steal anything, and I did not speak ill of you either." Rosehip thought, "By the way, where is he going? I knew it. There is no way he would turn a blind eye to something like this. After all, he is one of the most righteous, good-hearted people I know." She said, "You are not trying to get involved. I am sure you have not forgotten that you are here as my servant. If you create any problems, I need to take responsibility. Well, it is a different story if the one stepping in is me." The noble lady shouted, "So you won't admit to it until the end? I see. How dare a commoner make a fool out of a noble? You should know your place." She thought, "Mother said all I need to do is draw attention." Suddenly, Rosehip saved her. The noble lady asked, "Who are you, and why are you meddling in my business?" Rosehip replied, "Well, it is natural that you do not recognize me. It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Rosehip Stannon, daughter of Duke Stannon." Rosehip continued, "It would not be right to create a commotion when we are all here to have a good time. I am sure the host won't appreciate that either." The noble lady replied, "I am not sure what you are talking about. I did not do anything wrong." Rosehip commented, "I am sure it would be a pity to gloss over the fact that you tried to slap this lady." The noble lady told her, "Tried to slap her? I don't know what you are talking about." Rosehip stated, "Pretty flowers should not quarrel with each other." The noble lady thought, and she is strong. I can't move at all." Rosehip continued, "Let's not create a commotion and just quietly enjoy the gathering. It is a day of celebration." The noble lady remembered her father saying, "Listen carefully. You must create a commotion and attract attention. That is the role given to you in our family. Everything must be for His Majesty. I need to create a bigger ruckus." She may be a duke's daughter, but it is her first debut in high society. A noble young lady must have a debutante ball when she comes of age. To not have one means her family is poor, or she is being neglected or disregarded by the family. The noble lady asked, "Are you insulting my family? Not only does it not concern you in any way, but you are also quite rude. I did not expect the daughter of a duke to be so senseless. I question whether you have been educated at all." Rosehip replied, "Your method of provocation certainly stands out. It is not just boring, but childish. Since it seems both you and I have been insulted, how about we have a duel?" The noble lady asked, "What are you saying? Stop bluffing, it's ridiculous." Rosehip stated, "Who said I was bluffing? I am serious." She thought, "I have been extremely discreet about myself until now, but things are going to change. Ashton has to have heard about what is going on, but he is not stepping in to put a stop to this." After that, the knight thought, "I need to go up against a frail duke's daughter. It is obvious she has never held a sword in her life." Rosehip thought, "Is that what he is thinking? I can read him. A sword weighed down with too many concerns can't do itself justice." The next moment, the knight thought, "How can she be this strong, and how is she so skilled?" After that, he was on the ground. Rosehip thought, "I was trying to go easy on him. Maybe I should have relaxed more." The nobles were chatting. Who knew the lady was so skilled in swordsmanship? She looks like she is better than the average knight. After that, Rosehip thought, "I might have hit harder than I was planning to, but to say I was not properly instructed is the same as criticizing Lou, who raised me. Anyway, now I have created a mess. I hope the host will sort it out for me. Lou has been looking for me all day. I should go and comfort him. He clearly must have been surprised." Roybos came and spoke. "There is no need to be too wary of me. Nice to meet you. I am Roybos Anthena. Now that I have introduced myself, would you mind having a quick conversation with me?" Rosehip thought, "Just like every story has a heroine, every story has a villain. A ruthless and cold-blooded man whose veins carry the blood of the diamond. The man at the center of ghastly rumors is this man before me, Roybos Anthena." She asked, "Am I allowed to refuse? Today is a day for the Duke's bride candidates. What is a gentleman like you doing here?" Roybos replied, "His Grace officially invited me. You could say I am the judge." Rosehip thought, "The judge? I momentarily forgot because it has been ages since I joined this competition. The worst villain in the original novel, who is also the secondary male lead, has not officially met the female lead yet, but it is correct that his first appearance is at the competition. His first encounter with her is in a back alley of the city later on. Having been blackmailed due to her family's debt, she heads to the back alley. That is where she meets Roybos. It was the same for me. During my first lifetime, I was dragged there against my will. It was not a particularly nice experience." Roybos spoke, "I was very much impressed by what I saw in the hall and on the training ground. I wanted to speak with you. I guess now is not a good time. See you soon, my interesting young lady." After that, the Duke came and asked, "What are you doing here?" Rosehip replied, "Is it okay for you to be here? You are the star of Kishore." The Duke commented, "Of course I had to come here, since this is where my star of the show is." Rosehip thought he took her by surprise with his choice of words. She asked, "Did you see someone else on the way here?" The Duke replied, "Someone else? You are the only one. By the way, are you okay? There was quite an uproar. You fought with a sword. Are you not hurt?" Rosehip thought, did he not see Roybos? Then she told him, "Are you sure you are not worried about my opponent?" The Duke asked, "May I ask you something?" Rosehip replied, "Yes." She thought, he probably wants to know why I caused such a fuss, or what my game plan is, or maybe he wants to tell me which ladies I need to watch out for. The Duke asked, "How did you train to become so skilled? I don't mean to be rude, but your body does not look like it was disciplined in swordsmanship. Was it inappropriate to ask?" Rosehip thought, "I have repeatedly transmigrated through many roles until now, and I went through that many ordeals. I was a soldier. One time I was a child, and another time I woke up as an adult. Life always started without my consent. What use is acquiring mastery of the sword if everyone is like that? Once swordsmanship or magic skills were obtained, They did not go away despite the increasing number of transmigrations. It was as if they were engraved in my soul. But that does not mean I can abuse my power. This is the first lifetime where I used it for my family. Rosehip spoke. I am trying hard not to give away my strength in front of other people, of course. I was unlucky to get caught by your grace. Those who know nothing tend to conveniently dismiss it as a party trick. But knowledgeable people like you, your grace, can see through me too easily. The Duke said, I believe you are the one who displayed your skills on the training grounds. Rosehip replied, well, I don't intend to keep them completely hidden anymore. That is why you chose me. I will fulfill my share of the contract. So I hope your beloved grace won't disappoint me either. All I wanted was to laze around and do nothing, but you just had to wake me up. The Duke commented, you are too close to, that is not an answer to my question. Rosehip emphasized, you want to know how I possess this much power. It is a secret. It is not like your grace will tell me everything either. I have a question of my own. Is this the East Garden or the West Garden? The Duke replied, the West Garden. Rosehip asked, did you go to the East Garden with anyone? Did you not meet anyone there? The Duke replied, meet who? Rosehip thought, this is odd. What is the male lead doing here? It does not make sense. This is not where he should be, because this is the first encounter with the female lead. That has happened countless times. Today is the first day the female and male lead meet. Rosehip continued to think, the original storyline has been broken. Any transmigrated person would naturally think of this. I also did not think much of it at first, but after countless repeats of experiencing the story progress as per the original novel, my obsession with changing the flow of the story ended in failure every time, and so I gave up. At times, I fell into despair. In the process, I learned that my life was simply like that of a wanderer, helplessly swept away by destiny. So why are things different in this round? I am certain the male and female leads have their first encounter today. The male lead will fall in love with the female lead at first sight, even if he won't be aware of that fact. After going through a period of denial about his feelings for her, he will finally realize that he is in love. This was the gist of the plot that never changed. Wherever I was, I always heard news of the Duke's marriage. His fiancée was always the same. I think I don't have the date wrong. They are supposed to meet today. If some unexpected event I don't know about has happened, causing this episode to be different from the previous ones, then there would be no reason to send the male lead to the female lead, would there? I know this is either twisted greed or obsession. This is my tantrum after so many repeats of getting pushed around by the original story. The Duke asked, what is this? Your hand is very cold. Rosehip thought, if things had progressed according to the original story, Ashton should not have come down to the training ground. That is right. The duel should not have happened. The things I do on a whim are no longer hindered. My face must look really strange now. Rosehip asked, are you worried about me? The Duke replied, anyone would worry if they saw someone suddenly turn pale like that. Rosehip thought, liar, you are normally never interested in other people's problems. The interest this man is showing me. Could it be that he sees me as his first love, just like he did with the female lead? Or is it kindness with a twinge of affection that will eventually develop into love? No, he is overly courteous. I have seen what he looks like when he is so in love that he loses all reason. Rosehip told him, I want to ask you something. The Duke replied, right now. If you come with me to see a physician later, then I will answer. Rosehip explained, I am not hurt, but if that is what you want. Come to think of it, the end of our deal is a fake engagement. Then what if either of us gains a lover? What happens then? She thought, see, this is not jealousy or affection. His expression tells me he is wondering why I am asking such questions. She continued, human beings are animals who always live for what ifs. Nobles are particularly like that. My father had an illegitimate child, so it is not strange for me to be concerned. The Duke replied, what you are worried about, no such thing will happen. Whatever happens, I will be loyal to you. Rosehip told him, there is always a what if, one day, one of us could suddenly fall in love, you know. She thought, I want to try ruining this world, so help me out, be my partner for real this time. The moment I learned I could not do as I please, I could not help but feel the animosity I had kept hidden raise its head and bare its teeth against this world. It has been cruel to me. After all, the Duke asked, you think I might betray you? Rosehip replied, I am not saying you will, but you never know. You could fall head over heels for a stunning beauty you bumped into in the garden. The Duke told her, I had no idea you were so imaginative. You should try writing novels. Rosehip thought, look at him being sarcastic. I have never seen him like this, how interesting. She said, I don't think that will be possible, I am sick and tired of novels now. After some time, the Duke thought, I have only seen this woman for a short time, but I can tell she is the reserved type. But after she asked that question, she made a strange face, it was filled with loathing. After that, I am sure she won't tell me, even if I ask her the reason. I really don't know what to make of her. I have been having headaches whose cause I don't know. The strange thing is that they vanish when I am in front of the lady. Rosehip asked, is there anything you expect me to do? The Duke replied, you suddenly seem quite proactive, am I mistaken? Rosehip commented, no, you saw me right. I am feeling a little more motivated to do this properly. Congratulations, Your Grace, you just got yourself the best partner. The Duke asked, just now? I thought we signed the deal a few days ago. Rosehip stated, yes, now, do you want me to create havoc in any specific way? Anything should be possible. From getting rid of any vassals who are a pain to you, to dealing with His Majesty. Like this video, hit the like button, and subscribe for more videos.